I know you wondered where I was, in the silence, in the chaos, in the heartbreak. You asked, God, did you leave me? No, I didn't. Not for 1 second. You looked for me in the miracle, but I was standing with you in the mess. You expected thunder, but I whispered. You waited for fire, but I stayed in the quiet. You thought my absence was punishment. You thought the pain meant I'd turned my face away. But child, I was closer than the air in your lungs. I never left. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I am not the God who walks away when it gets hard. I'm not scared of your doubt. I'm not offended by your tears. And I'm not shocked by your struggle. When you cursed through clenched teeth, I stayed. When you sat in silence too numb to pray, I stayed. When you messed up again and said, this time he's done with me, I stayed. You may not have seen me, but I saw you. I saw you fold your hands in the dark, not even knowing what to say. I saw you pull the blanket over your head, trying to escape the weight of it all. I saw you get dressed, smile at the world, and hide the storm inside your soul. And I never turned my eyes away. You've mistaken distance for disinterest. You've assumed my silence meant I stopped loving you. But love doesn't walk away. Not real love. Not my love. Before you knew how to call my name, I had already written yours on my hand. Before you ever ran to me, I ran to the cross for you. Before you ever searched for me, I was already beside you. I don't abandon. I don't quit. I don't disappear. And today I'm asking you to see what I've been doing in the background all along. I'm not here to scold you for not noticing me sooner. I'm here to remind you, you were never alone. I saw it. The moment they left. The night the message came through. The betrayal you never expected. The funeral you weren't ready for. The goodbye that shattered your chest into pieces. And I didn't just watch it happen. I wept with you. You thought you cried alone. But every tear that rolled down your cheek touched my heart. When the sobs came that couldn't be explained to anyone else, I was holding you, even when you couldn't feel me. When you said, I can't do this anymore, I whispered. But I can. And I carried you. You thought you were abandoned, but I never moved. I sat in the room when you collapsed on the floor. I stood behind the steering wheel when you drove around just to escape the ache. I was in the hospital room, the bedroom, the courtroom, the graveyard. You never entered pain without my presence. You prayed, God, where are you? And I was closer than your breath. I wasn't waiting on the other side of your healing. I was in the bleeding middle of it with you, because I'm not the kind of savior who avoids pain. I'm the one who enters it. I'm not afraid of your broken heart. I came to heal it. I'm not intimidated by your grief. I carried it on my shoulders. I didn't wait for you to be okay before I came close. I stepped in because you weren't. Even now, when your heart trembles remembering it, I still hold every memory you've buried. I remember the night you didn't sleep. I remember the words you never said out loud. I remember the parts of you that cracked, but no one noticed. And I want you to know that pain wasn't proof I had left. That heartbreak wasn't the end of your story. It was the moment I pulled you even closer. I was there when they left, but I never did, and I never will. I remember when the heat turned up, when life didn't just bruise you, it burned you, and you looked around and said, God, why am I still in this? You begged me to pull you out, but I didn't. Not because I was cruel, but because I knew what the fire couldn't do. It couldn't consume you. It couldn't destroy what I've placed inside of you. It couldn't stop my plan. You cried, this fire is too hot. But I whispered, then stand with me in it. Because I never promised to keep you out of every storm. I promised I'd walk with you through it. And that fire you hated, that trial that made you question everything, that situation that dragged you to the edge, I was right there. I didn't watch from a distance. I stood beside you, just like I stood with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The fire was real. The flames were hot, but it couldn't burn what I covered. You thought I was late. You thought I ignored the deadline. You thought I let the enemy win. But child, what you didn't see was how many things I shielded you from. The trauma that never touched you. The collapse that never came. The attack that never made it past my hand. I protected you while it looked like you were being destroyed. But in the spirit, you were being refined. That job you lost? I was pruning you for purpose. That door that closed? It was leading you toward your calling. That relationship that fell apart? It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. You wanted out of the fire, but I wanted you to come out different. More bold. More aware. More free. Not just delivered, transformed. And you thought I'd left you in the worst moment of your life. But the truth is, I was standing in the flames with you the entire time. I was the fourth man in your furnace. And I didn't let the heat take you out. I let it take out everything that was holding you back. Let's be honest. You walked away. You stopped praying. You stopped listening. You stopped believing. And you thought I had walked away too, but I didn't. You ran because you were ashamed. You hid because you thought I was disappointed. You stopped coming close because you thought I only stay for the perfect. But child, I never turned my face from you. Even when you turned your back on me, I saw the compromise. I saw the double life. I saw the sin that became a secret. I saw the drift happen one small decision at a time. But I never stopped loving you. You thought I was silent because I was angry. But I was silent because I was waiting. Waiting for the moment your heart would soften. Waiting for you to remember who you really are. Waiting not to punish, but to restore. Do you think I didn't know the struggle before I chose you? Do you think your mistakes shocked me? Do you think I regret going to the cross for you? Never. I took your sin, and I stayed. I watched you run, and I waited. I saw you at your lowest, and I loved you there. Because you don't have to earn your way back. You don't have to fix yourself before you come home. You don't have to clean up before I call you mine. You already are. Even in your rebellion, I was reaching. Even in your wandering, I was watching. Even in your silence, I was still speaking. You just couldn't hear through the noise. I didn't walk away when you failed. I didn't walk away when you doubted. And I won't walk away now. You might have let go of me, but I never let go of you. You think you're still alive today because of luck? Because of coincidence? Because things just worked out? No. You're here because I fought for you. Fights you didn't even know were happening. Battles that broke out in the spirit while you were sleeping. Attacks that were scheduled to take you out, but never made it past my authority. You don't even realize how many times hell tried to destroy you. But I stepped in. I stood between you and what the enemy planned, and I said, not this one. Not today. You think peace just showed up in that room? You think the anxiety just lifted by itself? You think the situation just randomly got better? No, I was behind it all. I was canceling what was never meant to reach you. I was rearranging what others meant for evil and turning it for good. I was opening doors, but also shutting some, because I knew what was on the other side. Some of the greatest blessings in your life were the battles I blocked without your knowledge. You didn't see the car crash I prevented. You didn't hear the conversation the enemy planned. You didn't notice how close that temptation came until I snatched you out of it. And yet, even when I fought for you, you thought I was distant. You thought I wasn't listening. You thought I wasn't answering. But child, I was working while you were worrying. You prayed for strength, but I gave you protection. You asked for answers, but I gave you preservation. You wanted speed, but I gave you safety. Because I don't just bless you with what you can see. I fight for you in realms you don't even understand. So next time you wonder, God, are you doing anything? Remember, you're only breathing right now because I've been doing everything. I heard you. Every time you asked, where are you? Every whisper of, why won't you answer me? Every prayer that felt like it hit the ceiling. You thought my silence was distance, but I was never more present. I sat with you in the waiting room, in the unanswered seasons, in the moments where you got no response, no sign, no open door. You assumed I wasn't speaking, but sometimes I'm not speaking because I'm holding you. Child, silence isn't absence. Silence is where faith is forged. It's where you stop clinging to feelings and start trusting my character. I wasn't punishing you with silence. I was preparing you through it, because if I answered too soon, you'd settle for less. If I opened the door too early, it would crush you. So I sat beside you, quiet, steady. Sure, while your emotions screamed, "He's gone," my spirit whispered, "I'm here." You weren't alone in the stillness. I was molding your patience, strengthening your spirit, training you to know me, not just my voice. There are things I grow in silence that don't grow in noise. Roots that go deep, faith that isn't based on goosebumps or feelings. A trust that says, even if he doesn't speak, I still believe he's near. I know silence feels like abandonment, but ask the seed buried in the dirt. Growth doesn't begin in the spotlight. It begins in the dark. And when the time was right, the answer came. The breakthrough arrived. The peace returned. Not because I finally showed up, but because you were finally ready to see me again. I never stopped being God. I never stopped being near. And I never stopped loving you in the silence. I was speaking, just not in words. You begged me to take it away. The ache, the betrayal, the loss you still don't talk about, the delay that made you feel forgotten. You said, "God, what was the point of all that?" And I heard every word. Not one cry went unnoticed. Not one sleepless night went unseen. Not one moment of suffering was wasted, because I am not the God who lets pain roam free. I don't allow what I won't use. If I permitted it, I planned to redeem it. You thought it was random. You thought it was meaningless. But in my hands, even pain becomes a tool. You only saw the breaking, but I saw the building. You thought the season that almost crushed you was punishment, but it was preparation. You thought the silence was abandonment, but it was training. You thought the rejection was failure, but it was protection. I was shaping you, refining you, burning off the things that couldn't follow you into the next season. You wanted comfort. I gave you calling. You wanted escape. I gave you endurance. You wanted answers. I gave you anointing. You see, I don't waste pain. I write with it. I carve identity with it. I shape destiny through it. That heartbreak, it taught you how to love purely. That delay, it taught you to wait on me instead of forcing things. That loss, it made room for the greater thing I'm bringing. And when you said, "God, I can't take this anymore," I whispered, "Good. Now let me take it." Because when you finally laid the pain at my feet, I turned it into power. I turned tears into testimonies. I turned wounds into wisdom. I turned setbacks into stories of my glory. Don't curse the chapter you didn't choose. It's the one I'm using the most. Because when it's all said and done, the very thing that tried to destroy you will be the evidence that I was always writing something eternal. You don't even realize how proud I am of you. Not because you've been perfect, but because you didn't quit. You got up when you wanted to stay down. You worshiped when you didn't feel like it. You forgave when it hurt. You kept believing when nothing made sense. You call them small moments, but I call them supernatural victories. You thought I only celebrated miracles. No, I celebrated you every time you took a step closer to me. When you chose peace instead of revenge. When you apologized first. When you walked away from that temptation. When you shut the door on the past. When you said, "God, I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you." I smiled. Heaven doesn't cheer for fame. It rejoices over faith. And you, yes, you made heaven rejoice more than once. You compared yourself to others and thought you weren't enough. You saw their highlights and felt like you were behind. But what you don't see is how far you've come. You've grown. You've matured. You've started to listen more than react. You've started to lean on me before leaning on your own understanding. And every time you felt invisible, like no one noticed your effort, I did. I saw every seed of obedience, every quiet yes, when no one else was watching. You thought it didn't matter, but the kingdom of heaven is built on those moments. I'm not waiting for you to be flawless. I'm walking with you as you're becoming, so celebrate what I celebrate. Don't despise your small beginnings. Don't minimize your progress, because I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for surrendered. And when I look at you, I don't see failure. I see faith, and it moves me every single time. You've called yourself a lot of names over the years. Unworthy, broken, too far gone, too messed up to be used. But you never once heard me call you that. You've identified yourself by your worst moments, your greatest regrets, your loudest insecurities. But I never agreed with those labels. Before the failure, I called you mine. Before the mistake, I called you chosen. Before the drift, I called you loved. And I never took it back. I didn't fall in love with a perfect version of you. I chose you with full knowledge of your struggle. I called you knowing you'd fight me, knowing you'd question me, knowing you'd leave. And still, I planned your return. Because you never stopped being mine. Even when you stopped showing up. Even when you thought I was done. Even when you believed the lie that your calling had expired. I didn't revoke what I placed in you. I didn't rewrite your name. I didn't remove your seat at my table. You are not defined by the divorce, not marked by the addiction, not rejected because of the abortion, not forgotten because of your past. You are redeemed, and I am still calling you, not as a servant, but as a child, not as a failure, but as a vessel, not as a problem, but as my purpose. Come back to me, not because I left, but because you forgot who you are. You don't have to beg for belonging. You've always had a home with me, so stop calling yourself what I never did. You are mine, and nothing, not death, not life, not demons, not even you can change that. Let me say it again, loud and clear. I never left you, not even for 1 second. Through the heartbreak, I was there. Through the sin, I was there. Through the silence, the questions, the pain. I was always right beside you. You thought I needed your perfection. I just wanted your presence. You thought I required strength. I just wanted surrender. I'm not the God who gives up. I'm not scared of your mess. I'm not surprised by your wounds. When you walked through fire, I stood with you. When you fell, I covered you. When you wept, I wept with you. Every breath you've taken, I've been near. Every night you've cried, I've stayed close. And every prayer you didn't know how to pray, I heard the silence. I'm not just your rescue, I'm your refuge. I'm not just the God of your mountaintops. I'm the God who kneels in your valleys. And today, I need you to know this. I didn't just love you. I've never stopped loving you. I didn't just call you once. I've never stopped calling you. So now, come closer, not with shame, not with guilt, but with open hands. Let me restore what you thought was ruined. Let me finish what I started. Let me heal what you hid, because I'm still here. I've always been here, and I'm not going anywhere. Not now. Not ever.